What's up guys, welcome to the next Pyramid Strength vlog. Today we're going to be talking about nutrition, and specifically we're going to be talking about fruit juice. And this could turn into a bit of a rant because it's something I feel really strongly about, but essentially I think the fact that fruit juice has somehow been marketed and sold to us as a healthy drink and a healthy part of our diet is a complete con. It's one of the biggest cons in the history of mankind. And I'll get into a little bit of that in this video. You might be thinking, why on earth is fruit juice so bad? Isn't fruit good for us? Isn't that what we've been told all our lives? Have fruit, have your 5 servings of fruit and vegetable a day. Well, yes, fruit is great, but fruit juice is a completely different ballgame. My biggest problem with fruit juice is that once you make a juice, first of all, you need about 4 or 5 apples to make 1 glass of apple juice. And just think about that for a second. The amount of sugar that you're getting in 4 or 5 apples is concentrated into that 1 glass of juice. So not only does 1 serving of fruit juice have a ton of sugar compared to 1 serving of fruit, you're also getting rid of all of the fiber in the fruit when you turn it into juice. Now, why is that important? Fiber is not only just good for your digestive health in general, but it also slows down the absorption of sugar. And because you don't get that in juice, all of the sugar that you're ingesting when you drink a glass of fruit juice goes straight into your bloodstream within minutes. It doesn't get slowed down and slowly released as it does if you ate a whole apple or a whole orange. It just goes straight in there. And what this then causes is a massive spike in your insulin. And we know that surges of insulin and chronically elevated insulin levels eventually leads to type 2 diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and a whole host of other health problems. And essentially, this is what is the result of having a high fruit juice intake consistently. And you just don't get this effect from eating whole fruit. I mean, the studies have shown that eating a large quantity of whole fruit just doesn't cause type 2 diabetes. In fact, it reduces your risk of type 2 diabetes. And I'll post the link at the bottom of the video, but I'll just point you to one study in the British Medical Journal that was published in 2013. And this was a review of actually 3 cohort studies that followed patients over the course of about 20 years each. And we're talking about thousands of patients here. And it measured, amongst other things, they looked at their fruit intake and their fruit juice intake over this period. Every couple of years they sent the patients a questionnaire, and then also measured the rate of type 2 diabetes in this population. And what they found, unsurprisingly, was that consumption of whole fruit instead of fruit juice reduced your risk of type 2 diabetes by about 10% on average, and in some cases substituting certain whole fruits for the equivalent juice up to about 20 or 30% reduction in your risk of type 2 diabetes. Whereas drinking fruit juice as a significant part of your diet resulted in a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. And you can read the study in your own time, but basically that's the summary of the findings. And this is just one study. Many more have been done that back this up. So what should we be drinking instead of fruit juice? Well, to be honest, the only drinks that I drink, and I'd recommend this to most people, the only thing that I drink really on a regular basis is water and tea. And tea is essentially hot water. And basically I go by the principle of eat your calories, don't drink them. And one thing of this, think about, if you take one thing away from this video, think about this psychological trick. Remember I said earlier that you'd need about 4 or 5 apples to make 1 glass of fruit juice? Think about how full you would feel if you ate 4 or 5 apples in one go. I mean, you'd feel pretty damn full. You probably wouldn't want to eat anything else. Whereas, if you had those same 4 or 5 apples in a glass of fruit juice, would you really feel that full from drinking 1 glass of fruit juice? I mean, I'd guess that you probably wouldn't feel any difference in your appetite or your hunger from drinking 1 glass of fruit juice. And just to remind you, when we say 1 glass, the guidelines say 150 mils is a glass. And just to demonstrate how much that actually is, this is 150 mils of fluid, water obviously, not juice. And this is an average sized glass, and it's about sort of half, 2/3 full. So this is actually what 1 serving of juice would look like. I mean, most people, when they have a glass of fruit juice, they have a full glass. They probably have 2 or 3 in one go. So you're already exceeding what counts as one serving. And do you really feel full from that? No. So you've just ingested a whole load of calories and not really made any difference to how full you feel. And you're just going to eat the same, if not more food later on. And on another point, I think it's absolutely atrocious that this 1 glass of fruit juice can count as one of your 5 healthy fruit and vegetable servings a day. I think that should be taken out of the guidelines. That's my personal view, controversial as it may be. You may be asking, well, surely fruit juice is better than a Coke or a Fanta or any other fizzy drink. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably the lesser of two evils, but it's still one of the evils, I would say. And honestly, I would recommend you, your children, don't drink fruit juice regularly and try and have whole fruit. I mean, yeah, a glass of juice every now and then isn't going to kill you. Most things in moderation are fine, but drinking it regularly is a problem and will lead to diabetes, obesity, all the health problems we talked about. So yeah, that's what I've got to say about it. Eat your calories, don't drink them. Comment down below if you disagree. Happy to have a debate. Until next time.